one mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah, I Banged Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
And welcome in to the One Mic with Big Mike show. Of course, I am Big Mike on this Hump Day, getting you on over the rest of this hump. Hope you guys had a pleasant and productive Wednesday. Hope I can continue to add to that pleasantness or the pleasantries and the productivity. You guys are hearing me on Spreaker.com if you're listening live, or the Spreaker app. Make sure you spread the word and tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure how long we're gonna go today, boy. Not a lot to talk about, but I do got some stuff to. I do have some things to get off my chest, if I can say it grammatically correctly. It doesn't matter. You guys know already. I'm not that dude. Also, make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker account, and once you do that, you need to go ahead and follow my show or search for my show at the number 1 MIC WITHBIG MIKE. And once you find it, then follow it. And once you follow it, make sure you join the show inside the live interactive chat room every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like I said, at 7 o'clock. Usually we go to about 9 o'clock, or I go to about 9 o'clock. I'm trying to work on that. Trying to work on saying more I than we. I'm not doing a tandem show anymore. It is just me, just one mic with me, Big Mike. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the number 1 MIC WITHBIG MIKE. It is hashtag Woman Crush Wednesday, the third installment of such a thing on social media for this particular show. We were doing it on my previous show, and then didn't really start back doing it on this show until a couple of weeks ago, till 3 weeks ago. So this week, the young lady's name is Noella Diaz at at NOELLADIAZ. So y'all, check her out, give her a holler, say what up, you know what I mean? Also I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE. Just got into I don't know what it's called. I think I got, what happened? I think I got my first, what is it called? Is it friended? Is it unfriended on Facebook? Yeah, I think I got my first unfriend today, just because being an idiot. And people take their lives way too seriously, in certain aspects of their lives. Like this young lady posted a picture, a meme of a captured slave, and the meme said, "Where was God during slavery?" So I saw it, and I kind of chuckled. I laughed at it. And I noticed though that she had actually commented on it and said, God was right there. He brought them through it. Now, I tell you guys all the time, I'm not Mr. Religion. That's not really my bag. But, I kind of I poke at people sometimes. So I just typed but and put ... And then she was like, but what? So now you've brought me into it now. So I have to retort. I have to answer your question. And I just said, but I've never seen a fireman get called a hero when he's the one who started the fire. And I laughed, put LOL. And apparently she got upset and was like, this conversation is over. It's not a laughing matter, and blah, 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 blah. Like, look, man, hold on to your faith, man, and all those good things, man. You know what I mean? But you'll be able to laugh at yourself sometimes. Like everybody, man, be able to laugh at yourself and not take everything so seriously. Like you wasn't the one getting your ass whooped and taken from your homeland. And, in all seriousness, I think what sometimes gets lost in people's quest to be more religified than the next man is that there's the realization that those people, those Africans that were are taken from Western Africa and brought to America to work for no wages. Yeah, they didn't know about Jesus and God. That was given to them, just like those lashes on their back. It was given to them by the same men that bought and sold them. just putting things into a little bit of perspective. That's all, just a tiny bit, But do you, man? Do your thing. What else is going on? Today, a bunch of stuff is going on television, man. There's a special episode of Blackish, which I don't really know how I feel about. Like, based on is it still called a trailer? If it's TV, the preview, I guess, of the show, it's gonna be real heavy. And if you don't watch Blackish is a real light. It's a real lighthearted kind of, a lot of backhanded, racially, I don't know, comically racial things that are said and mentioned in this show. And it's a funny show to me. You know what I mean? But it seems like today they're going to take it way, way down. They're going to talk about the shootings, like stuff like Trayvon and Michael Brown and Tamir Rice and those type of things. And it really seems like it's going to be real heavy. And I understand why. I understand the perceived obligation to do it. Yeah, but sometimes, I don't know that you're necessarily bringing more awareness to the problem. You know what I mean? I think the people, especially the people affected and the people who would call themselves watching the show called Blackish, we're aware, and I guess the show is about how you talk to your kids about what's going on and those type of things. And, on the other side of that ledger, I guess we can take a minute away from laughing to possibly gain a little bit more perspective. So I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. I DVR it every week in case I miss it, and I'll see what it is, and I'll be able to report back to you guys on Friday with a full report on my feelings as far as if they went too far to take the comedy out of it. It was a good mix of comedy and information, like the Carmichael show. I like that show. There's only a couple of episodes of it. I don't know when it's coming back, but that was pretty. It was pretty informative and funny as hell, too. Also, American Crime. I've been telling you all about that. Second season of American Crime, and it's getting real crazy, man. The whole situation is just, yeah, it's just I don't even know how to describe it, man. You got to see it. It's on regular TV, too, right? It's on ABC, yeah. So, DVR it or whatever, ABC On Demand on your tablets or whatever you got, man. Check it out. It's a very, very good show, and it's a very wide lens look on the way certain people act in certain situations, and based on like the race, socioeconomics, education, things of that nature, man. It's a nice look, man. And the guy who wrote 12 Years a Slave actually. I don't know if he's the executive. I think he's the executive producer of the show. So it's a good look. Now, on to today's show. Today's show is the theme of today's show is basically I wanted to say hypocrisy, but that's not what. Double standards is what I'm trying to say. Double standards, and the way we react to double standards, especially when I'm saying we, especially in the black community. We get out there with ours, with the situation. So, before I dive head first into that situation or to that subject matter, let me tell you what else I got on the show. Now, a lot, of course, at 7:30, we don't have a guest tonight. Yeah, I broke the streak, man. It's like 6 straight shows with a guest, and today the streak was broken. I couldn't find anybody who I really wanted to talk to about anything, and nothing came to mind, and no one offered. So, yeah, it's just me. On this day, we'll do that at 7:30. We'll take a look back into the annals of sports. Tell you guys some of the historical feats that were accomplished on this particular day in history. I'll tell you guys about, speaking of TV, for whatever reason, I was watching Dr. Phil today. And my God, yeah, things got real. So I'll tell you guys all about that. NFL Combine starts, it kind of started yesterday, but they really, things get kicked off today with the interviews and with the press sessions and all that kind of stuff. And then you get the measurements, and then Friday they're going to start the running and the on the field stuff. And do that throughout the weekend with the different position groups. So I'm excited about that. I got all these tweets that I save on prospects and things. I got to go read up on that. Check out my draft. What is it called? Draftbreakdown.com. Check out the videos of some of these kids, and get ready, man. Get ready for what's about to happen. There's some more NFL stuff that's going on, more than just the combine. The NFL, I always talk about the NFL being like the Gestapo, and what I heard yesterday certainly proves it. The Atlanta Falcons kind of made an appearance in my reading today, and yesterday, and Monday as well. So I got some little tidbits on them as well. The Hawks aren't back in action till I think Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And boy, they need a break. They need to get some things in order. So we'll talk about them briefly, and then some other NBA things tonight. We got the who we got? We got the Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors, and Hassan Whiteside is, I call him baby Bynum. Minus the Frederick Douglass wig, or Frederick Douglass part in the fro. He'll be he in the Miami Heat. I know Bosh is not going to be done. I don't know if Dwayne Wade is back, but they've been kind of shorthanded here since the All-Star break. No Bosh, no Dwayne Wade. Luol Deng has been doing this thing, the African, as what did Danny Ferry say? He's one of those shifty Africans. Something like that. Got that dude fired behind that junk. Oh boy, you can't even joke. Like in 15, 16, yeah, you can't even joke. You can't even mention someone's nationality or race. You can fire from your gig immediately, dude. And even got some Major League Baseball commentary to give, man. You guys know that for you guys that have heard me on other platforms and other shows, I don't really do the baseball thing because baseball don't really offer up a lot. You know what I mean? It's like you can talk about the game in your region or in your local city, but nationally, baseball don't really give you too many storylines. It's the same ones every time. It's, steroids this, or some dude stared at some other dude, and then the dude who got stared at threw at the next dude, and then everybody had to run out of the dugout, and it took 50 minutes to clear everybody out, and no one threw a punch. It's the same garbage every time. But there are, that 5% of the 90 of the 100% times that baseball will give you something. And I think they gave us something today, unfortunately. Being the case, they gave us something. Speaking of unfortunate, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on the situation at the University of Tennessee, where those 6 females are actually suing the school for what they're calling an environment of sexual misconduct. I don't know if that's a quote. That's just me kind of paraphrasing. I don't remember what the actual charges are against the University of Tennessee, but they had this weird press conference with all the coaches on the stage the other day, and it was just weird. It was just weird, right? Okay, let's talk double standards here. This is One Mic with Big Mike. Excuse me. The other day, remember, I almost choked myself out. On Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app. Make sure you guys, spread the word. You know what, too? I got to stop and say thank you to everyone. The numbers are getting better. The post-show numbers are getting better. Not a lot of people. Well, some people are listening live. You're not appearing in the chat room. Don't forget, once you're listening live, look at the bottom of the screen. There's a little thought bubble dancing around at the bottom of the screen if you're listening on the computer. And once you click on that thought bubble, you'll be a part of the show inside the live interactive chat room. But I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their schedules to click on the links that I post on my social media or on your own, just going and checking out the show. The numbers are getting better slowly but surely since I started in November, and I definitely want to say I appreciate that. Now, also remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the number 1 MIC WITHBIG MIKE, and Facebook.com/ONE MIC WITHBIG MIKE. One Mic with Big Mike is my Facebook page. Now, double standards. Today, like I said, I got caught up listening to, watching Dr. Phil. Yeah, that happened. And the episode was about a teacher in Texas, a 29-year-old teacher in Texas that I guess was charged, is the right word, charged with having sex with a 17-year-old student in the school. Not her student, not someone that she was a coach and a student, so not someone that she coached or someone that she taught, but he was a student in the school that she taught in. The details are from both parties are pretty consistent. They exchanged phone numbers. They were playfully texting. That playful texting ramped up into some flirting. That flirting ramped up into, why don't you come over and holler at me? Which turned into full-blown sex. Now, in the process of the sexual act, I don't know what these damn kids, man, like, it must be true in their minds, right? That it didn't really happen if you didn't record it or if you don't have a picture of it. Because he takes his picture out, unbeknownst to her, he takes his phone out, unbeknownst to her, and records like 10 seconds of him having sex with her, right? Now, I know some of you are like, oh, it's a kid. But my question is he really? Now, the state of Texas said he's not a kid. The state of Texas says 17, you can consent to having sex, right? So her issue became the fact that she was a teacher and the fact that she had actually breached the contract with, her employer. So, of course, she was fired. There were court proceedings about the situation. And I saw this, and I'm like, all right. I put it on Facebook, the situation on Facebook, and dudes, man, y'all, like my guys, man, we never, ever, ever disappoint within a situation like this. Like when the stage is set for us to even fake it, and fake being like evolved creatures, we fail every time. Dudes is like, whoop his ass for stealing my dream, and as maybe ridiculous as it is true. The problem is, like, when I was in school, like, I graduated in 1995. So you might have had like one or two like teachers that was like you considered to be like fine teachers. Nah, man, like these chicks is coming out of college, like 24, 25 and going into the high schools. Like I knew chicks that went back to the high schools that they was teaching at. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's the double standard I want to talk about in this situation is because somebody brought it up and I was waiting for somebody to do it. What if it was a girl? What if the teacher was a male and the student was a girl? And the thing I want to say about that is, especially in this situation where it didn't appear to be by anybody's account except for the boy's mom, which she had that boy's mouth on her titty the whole time they was doing the interview. You know what I mean? And the reality, she kept calling, like they kept trying to refer to him as a boy, this kid. And the reality is, the other detail that you probably need to know about is that he was at her house when they first met up. Well, the one time they met up at 2:00 in the morning and didn't leave till 5. And her lawyer brought up what I thought was a good point. Like, which way do you want it? You know what I mean? Is he a man that can be out? And he admitted to being a little bit, to being inebriated when he went to her house. So is he a man that can be out all night drinking? Or is he this boy that was taken advantage of by this teacher? And I think that's a very valid question to his mom. Like, you want to keep, in certain instances, you want to talk about him being a man or a boy. But the fact is, you ain't know where your child was at 2:00 in the morning till 5:00 in the morning and what he was doing, which was drinking and sexing the teacher at his school. Which, in and of itself is another double standard. And people ask the question about if it was a girl. And, everyone wants to throw in, like, what if it was your daughter? What if something's bad? Let me say this. If something's bad, you don't have to have a daughter or a sister to recognize it as bad. Like, if like the stuff with Peyton Manning that he's accused of doing, right? Like, you don't have to jump on that. Yeah, man, if it was my daughter, it ain't got to be. You know what I mean? It was another human being. I don't understand the need to have to personalize something for you to recognize and for you to proclaim that it's a horrible thing. So yeah, this kid, this boy, this man, this young man, however they were describing him, he sexed his teacher. And the problem arose when he decided that he said that it was a mistake. He sent it out in this group text when he wasn't trying to, but we all know that's probably a bunch of bull. He was trying to brag about it to his boys that he smashed the teacher. You know what I mean? And after it was all said and done, you know, the lady, she was in the process of taking a plea on the situation, a no contest plea. And then his mama was still mad about it. His mama was on some, she don't have to register as a sex offender because, of course, like I said, the age of consent is 10. And she didn't, in my opinion, she didn't prey on him. You know, they were two, by law, consenting adults having sex. The only problem was that with her job, it states that she's not supposed to have that kind of contact with students in her contract. So she did. But her mom went to the media, his mom went to the media and went to social media and was calling her a sexual predator. So now she's suing the mom and the kid for defamation. Him for taping the situation and sending it out, and her for, you know, defaming her by calling her a sexual predator when legally she's not. And it was uncomfortable and mind-boggling at the same time. You know, to see the reaction that the crowd was having to this kid's mom and the things she was being real nasty to the girl and telling her that she ain't nothing and what don't you understand? Are you not right in the head? And all this kind of stuff. And she was being real classy about it. You know, she was very upfront with the fact that she did what she did, but the fact that, you know, look, by law, nothing was wrong, you know. But then what happened was his mom accused her of having sex with more than just her kid. And then what they did was they leveraged one case against the other one. That's where you got the no contest plea from, because they wouldn't let her defend both cases separately, or one case outside of another one. So they leveraged one case against the other one with her and caused her to basically plead guilty to both things, even the one that she claims was false, that she only had sex with that one kid. So I thought about that, and I thought about, you know, something that I was watching last night on Frontline about the opioid epidemic in the country, and it just kept coming back to, no, this is a problem in middle to upper class white America, white teens, house moms, and I'm like, oh man, there's plenty of black neighborhoods that have had families ripped apart by heroin and things of that nature. But now it's an epidemic. Like, to me, those are the double standards that need to be brought to the forefront and corrected immediately, because they lead to other things. They lead to things like sentencing guidelines. The fact that for the same amount of powder cocaine, if you have an equal amount of powder cocaine and crack cocaine, two different people, the person with the crack cocaine is going to do much more time than the person with the powder cocaine. And if no one thinks that has any racial connotations to it, you're an idiot. The fact of the matter is, crack is much more prevalent in lower income neighborhoods in parts of this country, and cocaine is reserved for the suburban, richer, upper class white people, generally. But the thing that we seem to have the biggest problem with is tight end Rob Gronkowski. This is, you know, there's more Super Bowl spill out. You know, people feel like Cam Newton was railroaded, and, you know, there are people who feel like he's unfairly covered, and that may be the case. I, for one, don't really live in the neighborhood of fair and unfair. You know, I don't know. No, and I think, well, let me qualify that. Like, when it comes to adults, you know, fully functioning adults, like, of course, some, you know, a kid being born with AIDS, that's unfair. You know what I mean? Or hooked on crack, that's unfair. You know what I mean? But, like, when you're talking about, you know, somebody, the things that someone says about another grown person, like someone saying something about me. Your show sucks. All right, cool. You know, that may be fair to that person. May not be fair to another person. You know, I say it every time I shut the mic off at night. Every other night when I shut the mic off, that sucked. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So, to give you the backstory, to give you the whole rundown, Rob Gronkowski had a Gronk cruise in which he went out obviously on a boat, and I guess it was a bunch of hella folks, like even people who, from my understanding, weren't registered for the cruise or whatever, but they found an opportunity. It swole to a couple of thousand people, I'm guessing. I don't know the particulars that well, but if you've seen the video, I'll try to explain to you what little video there was of it. There was a video of Rob Gronkowski shirtless, wilding out on the stage and all this kind of stuff. There was reports that he offered a couple $10,000 to have sex in front of everybody. It was, some, a little debauchery going on, but when people saw that, the first thing, especially black people, or what if that was Cam? Prince Amukamara. What if that was Cam? Or what if that was Odell Beckham Jr.? All right, what if it was? Double standards exist. They do. And if you waste your time and your efforts trying to, knock down every double standard there is, you'll die a very unhappy person. Because people don't complain about the double standards that assist them, right? Like the fact that a man should open up a woman. No, don't open up your woman. Open up the door for a woman when they're together. Or if you're walking into an establishment and you see a woman walking out, you hold the door for her, right? Well, the standard is not the same for a woman. It's not custom for a woman to do that. But, I don't no dude is going to complain about that because you sound like a punk. And no woman's going to be like, no woman's going to insist that, no woman's going to insist that, you let them open the door for you. Nah, but it's a double standard. People talk about relationships being 50-50. Wrong. Not all the time. No, there's certain things that, like in my household, I'm not about to have my woman out there cutting no damn grass. No. I do that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not exempt from washing dishes. I eat out of them. You see what I'm saying? So my overall point is that, this whole, we want everything to be on the same level. Everything. And that's not realistic. That's not going to happen. Everything's not going to be on the same level. And for my money, maybe it shouldn't be. Because do you want to see Cam Newton doing that? This past weekend, a picture of Cam Newton came out. 2 pictures, as a matter of fact. One with him smoking something in the club. It was suspected to be weed. And the comments that I saw on it was, oh man, no, Cam, no. Well, what's the problem? What the problem is? And I ain't really hear the thing about it too. Wildly, I didn't hear nobody say a damn thing about it. As far as ESPN or Patrick or Colin, maybe they did, but I haven't read anything that anyone mentioned it. It was just us. It was black folks, and then there was the picture of him in that crazy get up with the big Pharrell hat, and he had on some workout tights and a fur vest. It was this weird post Andre 3000 type of deal going on. And y'all killed him. The same people killed him. So, if I'm not sure what anybody wants, man. I'm going to come back, right? We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. We're going to do On This Day, right? And then I want to kind of get into the evolution of how we came to see this from Rob Gronkowski, because there's so many times in sports we're in the moment and our memories betray us. So I'm going to refresh your memory here in just a second, right here on One Mic with Big Mike, heard on Spreaker.com, and the app for all your mobile devices every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 p.m. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE, One Mike with Big Mike. And my Facebook page is facebook.com/ONE MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. And I'll be back in a minute.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true, I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What up? Welcome back to One Mic with Big Mike. Appreciate you guys for joining me as I help you get over, as I help you get over this hump today on this Woman Crush Wednesday. Talking about double standards. You know, everyone's favorite war cry. That ain't right. What if he was white? What if he, that whole deal. Yeah, let's kind of give that whole thing a little perspective. I hope to do that this evening, before the mics go cold or the mic goes cold. But before we get back into that, let me make sure I tell you guys once again, I'm being heard via Spreaker.com, and the app is available for all of your mobile devices, Windows, Android, Apple, phone, tablet, whatever you have. Make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker account. It's absolutely free. It's just like signing up for a Facebook account or a Twitter account and all these things. And once you do that, you can search for my show, the number 1 MIC, WITH, BIGMIKE, and become one of my followers. Also, use the same handle for Twitter and Instagram. And as far as Facebook goes, it's a little bit different. It's ONEMIC, WITH, BIGMIKE. And like I said, I'm going to get back into this double standards thing as far as Rob Gronkowski and Cam Newton go. But before that, as we do each and every day, normally 7:30, unless we have a guest, we do it at 8 o'clock. We'll take a look back into the annals of sports, and we call it On This Day.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
All right, we got a few to get through today. Not short like the other one. So let's start. If I can get my screen to cooperate. On this day in 1932, Malcolm Campbell, he drives a record speed of 253.96 miles per hour at Daytona. The Daytona 500 just happened the other day, as a matter of fact. I don't know the kid's name. Matt Kenseth, is that his name? That won the Daytona 500 the other day. I'm sure this record has been broken since then, 1932, with the technology and everything. On this day in 1978, Kevin Porter of the New Jersey Nets, he set an NBA record with 29 assists in a game. I do believe Orlando Magic's coach, Scott Skiles, broke that record. He may have even broken it twice, as a matter of fact. Y'all can go to Google and check that for yourselves. On this day in 1980, the U.S. hockey team, they beat Finland 4-2 and won the gold medal. We talked about them beating Russia on Mondays on this day. That was a semifinal round. That was a silver medal round or whatever it was, or gold or bronze medal round or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, they advanced and ended up winning the gold. On this day in 1982, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, he's on here a lot, of the Edmonton Oilers, scored his 77th goal of the National Hockey League season, breaking the previous record of 76. On this day in 1985, Jim Kelly of the Houston, what were they? The USFL team. I didn't write it down either. Anyway, he passes for a pro football record at the time, 574 yards. On this day in 1987, the Los Angeles Lakers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he scored his 36,000th NBA point on his way to be the number one scorer in NBA history, still to this day. Also, in that same game, he hit the first three-pointer of his career on the same day in 1987. Wow. On this day in 1988, Matt Nykänen becomes the Winter Olympics first triple gold medalist. Oops, let's scroll down here. On this day in 1991, the end of the World League of the American Footballs, the WLAF. What? End of the World League of America Football's first draft. Oh, okay. Sorry. This is when they started. I thought it meant it was the end of the league. No, it was the end of the first draft because I'm illiterate. On this day in 1988, finally, the NHL resumes the season since February 8th to accommodate the Olympics. You know, they take that break during the Winter Olympics in hockey. It's a weird thing because a lot of those guys, they're Canadians and Russians and Finland and all these other places, so they go play for their home team and even the United States, and then they come back and restart the season. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Hump Day edition of On This Day, your Woman Crush Wednesday, whatever you want to call it, day of On This Day. Now, getting back right here on One Mic with Big Mike, or should I start saying the One Mic with Big Mike show? I think I'll go there. That seems like it's more official, right? That way, if someone ever has to, I make myself laugh. Someone filling in for me. Speaking of filling in, my man Jarvis Davis, man. If you guys, I think he's told me on March 13th. This will be the one and probably only time you hear me reference this show in any type of promotion, this radio station in any promotional way, just because this is my man, 100 Grand. He'll be doing a Sunday morning shift, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. on March 13th. So for all you night owls, holler at my guy Jarvis, man. Jarvis Davis, he'll be on the air doing this thug thizzle. They don't say that no more, I bet. See, y'all ain't right. Anyway, back to this whole double standard situation, right? Okay, so let me refresh your memories a little bit as far as the Rob Gronkowski thing. Like, this didn't happen, just at a spur of a moment. There was a little bit of build-up to this whole Gronkowski thing. Like, I don't know if you guys remember. Remember they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants? And right afterwards, this dude is in the club with his shirt off, getting crazy and dancing and whatnot. And there was another incident where I don't think he was even playing, but his arm was broken, and he didn't care. He was on stage getting it on again, and people had a hard time with it. I remember former Patriot Rodney Harrison talking about if he was on the team, he'd snatch him up and all this kind of stuff, which, nah, dude, you need more people. And no one believes that was going to happen. But whatever, right? So those things happen. You remember at like whenever they would have like award shows, I don't remember which one it was that was on. Like, I tell you guys all the time, I don't really watch award shows, but I saw like, people were doing like the whole like caveman talk, like, ooh, Gronk catch touchdown, and I remember tweeting this, like, everyone seems to find it funny, except for the guy that they're talking about, because they would show him in the crowd with his brothers, those huge Gronkowski boys, sitting in those chairs, and he didn't seem to find it very, very flattering or very amusing. So all those things happen, and then we realize, this dude isn't just a flash in the pan. He can ball. And it's something that I remind you of, like somebody wanted to say, what if Johnny Manziel was doing this? No, that doesn't qualify. Like, you can tell me Odell Beckham Jr., you could tell me Cam Newton, but sometimes white folks feel like it makes the blow, the racial blow, it softens it a little bit if they can find a white dude to kind of qualify the statement. That's the wrong white dude. Nah. That dude is on cocaine, allegedly, and a drunkard. I say allegedly again, even though we know the truth. We know better, So he don't count. Like, if he's on this boat, he's probably going to die in some way. They may be able to bring him back. But if he does something like this, yeah, you can almost bet the farm it's going off the rails quickly. So that's not the right example. But these situations do exist where, you got white people that, white media, the Dan Patricks of the world, and the, wait, do I know her? I'm looking at TNT. I think one of my former coworkers is on this television show. Major Crimes. I had to ask my homie about that. Yeah, so Patrick and Cowherd and these guys are trying to throw a dude in there real quick. You know what I mean? To kind of, soften it so people don't think it's all about, race. But sometimes, look, man, run it. Run it. Sometimes it just is. You know what I mean? So, Gronkowski, he did the thing that you're supposed to do. If you want to act a fool, ball. And ball consistently. Like, be the best. And really, no one's going to touch you. It's probably been that way since the beginning of the NFL, right? Joe Namath was doing his thing, betting a bunch of broads. Yeah, nobody cares. Broadway Joe. He's making guarantees and coming through with them. It's all good. Up until all the way you can go to as recently as guys like Chad Ochocinco, when he was Chad Johnson. You remember that? Remember Chad Johnson was just fun. He brings fun to the game, and it's so fun to watch him, and blah, 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 blah. And then he couldn't ball no more. And he became a cancer. That quick. Yeah. And you can anticipate it happen to Gronkowski. If he ever drops off, which, it happens in the NFL, but he continues to do the same things, yeah. You can anticipate that treatment will come to him. But to use the whole double standard thing in this example, there's too many better examples. Not only in life, but in if you want to just keep it sports wise, there are too many other examples of double standards being, like, for example, the way people, Johnny Manziel again, you know what I mean? Like, how many dudes you see getting DUIs and all this kind of stuff, and the first thing you want to holler out when they're a black dude is stupid. But when it's Johnny Manziel, well, people are more concerned about Johnny's well-being, and he really needs help. Whatever. Johnny Manziel's a football player. And if Johnny Manziel can't play football, I don't give a damn. And I'm not alone. Like, if you as a fan of football, basketball, whatever, are truthful with yourself, you don't care either. You don't care. If they're available to perform for the team you root for, or if you like me, you don't even root for a team, you just want to see good basketball. Like, Johnny Manziel can't play football anyway. So I double don't care. If I said this the other day, there are people in this world and in this country in particular that don't have the resources to, if they were experiencing a problem that was affecting them in an adverse way in their personal life or in their business life as well. There are people who don't have those resources to where they can get it corrected. So when you have the resources and you have what seems to be a support system, and you kind of like, fling it to the side, like whatever. Yeah, whatever happens to you is on you. I can't be compassionate for that. Nah. Not in one little bitty bit. Why? Because he's a football player? Yep. Guess who doesn't care? This guy. everyone's the as Sean King describes him, the black man that white men pay to say what they're thinking. Jason Whitlock chimed in. I guess he was on with Colin Cowherd again. That's his buddy boy. This article from Fox Sports says Whitlock, who is well known for discussing racial questions inside the world of sports, was quick to refute the racism angle when it comes to Gronkowski's popularity despite his dance fever away from football. He says, quote, Gronk is no different than Charles Barkley in his prime. He's no different than Dennis Rodman. There are certain athletes and certain public figures that choose to live outside the conventional bubble and how you're supposed to operate. Eventually, the people who do that do it authentically, and we come to respect that and kind of have an affinity for them. He goes on to say, and that's where Gronk is operating right now. Eventually, he may fall over that line if he keeps lending his name to party boats and something bad happens to him, end quote. But then, Cowherd chimes in with one of my favorite white epithets. Quote, I don't know why we keep going back to the race issue, end quote. No, white man. No. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know, ask somebody. Because the thing is, it's real. Now, I don't know if it's racism, and I'm very quick to make the distinction between the two things. There are things that are racial that aren't racist. You know what I mean? And some of the things that are racial just come from a lack of understanding and a lack of perspective. Like, there's no doubt. Like, my guy Alec, right? White guy. We have conversations about race all the time. And then he's not afraid to ask me about things that he doesn't understand, and I appreciate him for that. Now, this ain't the first time I've said that on this show. I appreciate him for it. He doesn't just leave it up to his own understanding and whatever. I'll just go with the flow of what everyone else that looks like me is saying. No. And it's not that he just takes my word for anything, but it adds some perspective. And nor do I, as a black person, feel like he should be able to feel what I feel and know. Like when stuff happens to like the Trayvon Martin thing. I know I keep going back. That's something that kind of hit me very, very hard. I don't expect Alec to feel the same way I feel about that. One, he's not a father. He's not a black man. He's not the father of a black man, of a young black man. You know what I mean? So from that perspective right there, he wouldn't be able to see it. You know what I mean? Now, that doesn't mean he can't feel bad about it, that somebody's kid got gunned down in the street for doing absolutely nothing. That doesn't mean he can't feel bad about it. But as a black person, I can't sit here and be like, you'll never understand, and not have the conversation with him. That's irresponsible on my part, I believe. So though the whole thing about why does it have to come back to race, I think it's if asked in a genuine way, I think it's a good conversation starter. But that's not the way this is being asked. That's being asked in a way where it's bothering me. It's an inconvenience to me. Oh, why you got to talk about race? And somebody asked me that one time on the show I was producing. Somebody called in and asked, Mike, why you always want to talk about race or slavery or whatever it was? And my answer was simple. It's because you don't. You know what I mean? It's the elephant in every room, especially sports wise. But for whatever reason, nobody white wants to talk about it. And if you black and you work for somebody, you can't talk about it for the most part. Not authentically, unless they have one of those special, it was those N-word forums. A bunch of crock. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the issue is there. And yeah, I've talked about it since the first time I opened up a mic and did a show on my own. The fact of the matter is, the people who are the authors of many of these stories that we read, they have nothing in common with the characters within those stories. And I'm referring to sports writers and the athletes. They don't, everyone, every year, you're going to hear this year, right? Every year, they have a feature on someone. A couple years ago, it was Devontae Freeman. Last year, it was the kid from Missouri, the kid that got drafted by Denver, the pass rusher, right? The light-skinned kid. about them coming from these meager backgrounds and these tough neighborhoods. And the reality is, look, it's exploitation at its best. And I don't blame the kid, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your profile up. You're trying to show the world how hungry you are and how much you want this NFL thing. No problem there. But the problem is with the people who are broadcasting. They're broadcasting it like it's the exception and not necessarily the rule. I'm gonna maintain my opinion that those stories exist in much. They're much more prevalent than white America is comfortable with. That these kids from the gutter, in one fell swoop, will be in the same tax bracket as you. And I don't have any doubt in my mind that there are a lot of people who root for these guys to fail at every turn. I saw a story today. This kid from Auburn, Peyton Barber. That dude was like, I'm not necessarily ready to go to the NFL, but my mom's is homeless. Well, what? Yeah. He's like, my mom's is hopeless. Not homeless, not hopeless. She's homeless, not hopeless. As far as I know from reading this article. Yeah, he says, quote, my mother is homeless right now. Right now, she's staying with my sister. It's her and her 3 kids staying in an apartment back home. He goes on to say, at the same time, I realized the running back position, he plays running back, so that sucks. I realized the running back position is in a certain sense of devalued. I don't think that's the right word for that situation. But and to add on to that, I don't have that many miles in my body, and I know that the scouts look for that. So he's taking a shot. I don't know how many of you guys know Antonio Cromartie's story. Like, Antonio Cromartie didn't even play at Florida State. He was hurt, or something happened a couple of times where he couldn't even get on the field at Florida State. But his mom got sick, and she didn't have insurance. There was no Obamacare at the time. She didn't have insurance. So that dude was like, look, I'm about to go run in Indianapolis. For all the people who like, the combine makes no sense. Yeah, for certain dudes who didn't get to be seen, but they're good athletes, but they need a place to prove it. Yeah, the combine makes a difference. It made a difference for Antonio Cromartie, who, by the way, just got cut by the New York Jets. The money was just too big. He got like 12 kids, got 2 on the way, a twin set coming on the way. But yeah, dudes got to make decisions like that, because you know why? The NCAA says you don't have any value. Your likeness and your what is it? Your likeness and your name and your likeness have no value. Meanwhile, you turn on your TV and CBS is talking about, yeah, come watch Leonard Fournette. All right. Seems like they find some value in it, but that's another thing. I'm gonna have to have my guy Steve Silver on. I think he's doing something this month, or has done something this month. My guy Steve Silver from golly, what is it? LegalBlitz.com. Yeah. Y'all should check out their website, as a matter of fact, as well. But no. So as we get back to this whole issue of the double standard, and this is One Mic with Big Mike. You're listening to me on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app, or the Spreaker app. Please make sure you spread the word and tell your friends that not only can you hear me live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock, every episode I've done since November is posted, as well as the interviews. Not all the interviews. I hadn't got a chance to pull all the interviews out of the episodes yet, but there is an interview section as well, so you guys can check out every episode since then. If something, by title, sometimes the title don't really match the subject matter, because I get to run off at the mouth about other things, but you guys can check out any show that I've ever done since going back to November, if you like. Once again, thank you guys for the listen so far. If you guys want to sign up for your free Spreaker account, I do advise it. Just go to Spreaker.com. Do it just like Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Then once you do that, search for my show, the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. And then once you do that, go ahead and give me a follow. Share it with your friends. Hit the little share buttons and share it on your social media situations as well. All right. Getting back to what were we talking about? Rob Gronkowski and the whole Cam Newton thing, right? I very rarely ask questions on this show, but the question that I have in my mind is like, why as black people are we so quick to do that? it's almost like it's instinctive too. Like we seek it out. We seek out these different, the different ways things are being, the different ways people of different colors are being covered. And I think I feel like I have a very clear understanding of what it is, and I just detailed it to you guys. The fact that, if you're a white man covering this sport that's 85% black, and these dudes come from all over the place, man, all different kinds of, like, from, you got the Russell Wilsons of the world, who Virginia prep school type guy. He has his story. I don't know if you guys have heard his story about not feeling as though he fit in, being a biracial kid in this environment with all these, hoity-toity white dudes. He never felt like he fit in there, and how it helped him just realizing that maybe fitting in just ain't his thing. And you got like Cam Newton, guys like, he's another quarterback I'm just mentioning because he's a quarterback, College Park, Georgia. People like, Vontez Burfict and dudes like that, man. It's like there's a gamut of, even here in Atlanta, Devontae Freeman, man, where he's from in Miami is like ridiculous. This dude was like a coroner's assistant or something. He's burying people that he knew from his neighborhood. I don't know if you guys heard that story when he was coming out last year. So yeah, there's going to be a lack of understanding, especially when there's such a lack also of communication and willingness to be upfront and honest about things on both sides. If a white person can't be fearful of every time he opens his mouth to say something about or ask a question or inquire about something regarding the black community, can't be made to feel like you got to walk on eggshells. You know what I mean? Because of the reaction to a certain word or a certain phrase or a certain, it may just be a stereotype that's used. I saw something the other day, or today, matter of fact. I didn't read it. I thought the headline was funny. I guess the black dude that Kimbo Slice fought a dude. Street Fighter Kimbo Slice fought a dude, and apparently his heart stopped. And you guys know Joe Rogan. He's the ring announcer, not the ring announcer. He's like the play-by-play dude for a lot of the MMA stuff, the UFC stuff. And I guess he made a reference to orange soda and chicken in regards to the black dude whose heart stopped. And, I don't know, man. That level of sensitivity just don't live in me. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. When Guy Torrey was on, we had that conversation about, in my world, a joke is a joke. Now, they're bad jokes. They're tasteless jokes. But the fact that we've gotten to the point in society where the words someone uses are as bad as an action towards that person, a negative action towards that person, I think we've gone down a very, very steep and slippery slope. And I'm waiting for the day where hopefully the pendulum will kind of, not swing to the other side where everything is, free for all. You say what the hell you want to people at any turn, any place, and no one can do anything about it. But somewhere in the middle where people, like, okay, if you see a white boy singing a Jay-Z song and he was repeating the lyrics and he says the N-word, like, you don't fly off the damn handle like you're some sort of, guardian over that word. Just think about it. It's just some food for thought. This is One Mic with Big Mike. We're an hour down. I'll probably go for about another half hour. You know what I mean? Get out of here, go watch me some TV. Like I said, there ain't a lot to talk about. I want to talk about real sports yesterday. Kobe Bryant sat down with Andrea Kramer. I thought it was, I love, like, hearing great dudes, like dudes that are great at something. Like, watching Kobe Bryant play this year, I'm good. You know what I mean? But, kind of just hearing the type of things that go through his mind, his thought process, and things of that nature, where he sees himself going. I thought it was very, very interesting. And as well, there was a piece about the Warriors president that kind of brought all the faux support for Mark Jackson just rushing back into my mental. So I want to talk about that on the other side of a very, very short break. Right here on One Mic with Big Mike, being heard on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app. I do appreciate and would appreciate you sharing that information with all your friends via your social media vehicles and all those good things. Don't forget the chat room is wide open. You guys can jump on in and share your thoughts, ask questions, criticize, or comment, or whatever you want to do. It's wide open right here on Spreaker.com. One Mic with Big Mike. I'll be right back in a second.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Bang Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Hump Day.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Hump Day edition of One Mic with Big Mike, or the One Mic with Big Mike show, being heard right here on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app for all your mobile devices. Make sure you guys give me a follow on Spreaker by signing up for your free Spreaker account. It is absolutely free. Then searching for my show, the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE, One Mic with Big Mike. Use that same handle for Twitter and Instagram. And as far as Facebook goes, I'm at facebook.com/ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE. Also want to give a quick little shout out to today's Woman Crush Wednesday. She goes by the handle at Noella Diaz, NOELLADIAZ. So you guys can go check that out. You can go to my Facebook page, or not Facebook, what is it? You can go to my Facebook as well, but you can go to my Instagram at, of course, One Mic with Big Mike, just the number one, Mike like microphone, and with Big Mike as in my name. All right. Also, you know what? Shout out to my dude Jason Goff, man. 670 to score in Chicago, the afternoon host there, or the, what is it, midday? Would that be midday? Yeah, midday host in Chicago. They did a mock combine at the radio station today. Those are the type of things I miss, man. Those are But shout out to the boy running. I think he ran 5.2 unofficially. You know what I mean? It was in the hallway for one. I don't know who marked off the distance and all those things. We did it one time here in Atlanta at the radio station, and we had the official joint where the roller that ticks off the the amount of distance that you're going. So we had an official time with my guy Alec Campbell, ran the same time, as a matter of fact, 5.23. It was like 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, shout out to golf for at least being a trooper in the matter. I've been talking a lot about TV today, haven't I? Started the show off talking about everything that's going on TV tonight, but last night, when there was no show, Real Sports with Brian Gummel, I guess they do it every month, right? So the February edition featured a piece with Kobe Bryant, man. And Andrew Kramer sat down with him, and it was very, to me, it was very insightful as to where he is, kind of mentally, as far as the things that are going on with him in the league and so forth and so on. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because a lot of people are have this feeling that what they're seeing out of Kobe Bryant this year is like this fakeness, and the way they're losing. They're a bad basketball team, and they're losing. But Kobe's taking it all in stride. He's doing a lot of smiling and playing to the crowd and waving to everybody and all those kind of things. And I think that might have been Colin Cowherd that says, after all these years of being this black mamba, this villain figure and all these kind of things, now you want us to believe that it doesn't matter to you anymore. And he said, I think it's fake, and he called it fake. And I was like, hold on, man, back up. Could it not just be like the other day on, I don't know if you guys look at Vice, right? Vice is it's been described as like 60 Minutes on steroids. It's very, very powerful, very impactful news magazine type show comes on HBO, right? And they were talking about human euthanization, like people or assisted suicide. People who were at points in their lives, whether they were terminal and things of this nature, where they just, they didn't want to go on suffering in life, and didn't want to blow their heads off or jump off bridges or anything. They wanted to go in a peaceful manner and have some assistance in doing it, some medical assistance in doing it properly. And yeah, I saw a lady die on TV. Yeah, I saw a lady actually be essentially euthanized the way they do with the what is it called? With the lethal injection in jail, right? And my point of bringing this up in relation to what I'm speaking about is that she was cool with it. Like, she had come to peace. She didn't want to be here anymore. She didn't want to be suffering with the things she was suffering from. And I can actually see that being more of the case with Kobe Bryant than him being fake and being unauthentic. I think he's in a situation where he understands that his mind wants to continue to do certain things. Well, he was in a situation where his mind wanted to continue to do a certain thing, but his body was like, hell no, N-word, sit down. Go home and do something different. And he's taking it all. He's now in a place where he's able to be more reflective on the things that he's accomplished. Actually, while he's still accomplishing things. That's a very, very rare thing for people, for anyone to be able to do that. And I think he's relishing in it, and knowing that, with every game, with every minute that he plays, with every jump shot that he hits, it's getting closer and closer to the end. And what's funny, as we keep with this theme of double standards, when Peyton Manning, remember Peyton Manning got benched? I say he got benched. They say he was hurt, but and then he came off the bench because Brock Osweiler wasn't doing whatever, because Gary Kubiak wanted to make some sort of some sort of gesture and make it this climactic moment for Peyton Manning to come in and save the game, right? When he came back in, I think it was against Pittsburgh, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it doesn't matter what team it was against. But everyone started talking about, as Peyton was his taskmaster, but now it seems so much more like he's appreciating things. Like, he went, like, when it comes to being fake dudes, Peyton wants you to believe that he's riding around, with his navigation system in his Buick, and come on, B. Yeah, we know you got the big body joint. So no, you talking about being fake, but he was given credit for, enjoying the moment and savoring it. Now, obviously, there was more of an incentive for him, and his team was, the number one seed and going into the playoffs and all these things. Yeah, that is true, but I don't see it being personally that much different. Someone coming down the stretch in their career, and someone who's accomplished so many great feats within that sport, to be able to say, damn, I did that, and while still competing in a way, still going out on the court and giving it his all. Now, his all is not the same as it was, but yeah, so be it. It happens. He's got a lot of miles on him. So Kobe's talking about on Real Sports last night. He's talking about one of my favorite lines, man, for any athlete, any person, basically, man, to just say. He said, I want to prove to myself and my peers and everybody that we are more than just what we do. And I was like, my man, like, to me, when you talk about white America as a whole, that's one of the scariest concepts in the world. Has to be. That somebody, because when those boys was protesting in Missouri, it was like some shut up and play football. That's what, like one of the state representatives that tried to pass that law. He actually said that. Yeah, they're here to play football. Yeah, shut up and play football. Ezekiel Elliott, remember? He was like, yeah, I don't understand how the hell I only got 10 carries. I think we got out coached. And the attitude after that was what? Shut up and play football. Like, the worst thing these cats can do is start asserting themselves into other areas of our lives. LeBron James has already started doing it. Kobe Bryant, he talked about last night. He writes a lot of those Nike commercials that you see. He writes those. He's trying to move, even further to doing movies and even more commercials and TV shows and things of that nature. I do say he just writes constantly. Not to any end, but just writing to get better at writing. And I'm like, if I'm gonna root for anybody to do anything, it's stuff like that. Because the basketball stuff, it comes and goes. The football stuff, the sports stuff, it comes and goes. It's fleeting. But stuff like that, man, I think is where for all these people who are concerned with legacy, that's where you submit your legacy, man, and things like that. Understanding that Michael Jordan, best basketball player in the history of the game, in my opinion. That dude, for whatever criticism you want to have of him, that dude is an owner of a basketball team. And so when you want to talk about double standards and how they exist within sports, very few things change from the bottom up. Like getting into those type of positions, not even those positions are good enough. Whereas we have, Commissioner Manford and Commissioner Goodell and Commissioner Silver, all white men, all men who have put themselves in a position where they have unilateral power over the entire league. Like, yeah, we talk about Roger Goodell working for the owners, which is true. But when it came to nut cutting time, he hit his boy with $1 million fine and took his first round draft pick over some humbug, over something that should have been like $25,000 and go home. Those are the positions. And I think we're a little bit away from that, man. It's going to take some patience, and it's going to take, before I start talking about what it's going to take, I don't know what the hell it's going to take. What I do know is that's where things begin to change, man. It's cool for, Skipper, the head of ESPN, it's cool for him to say, we need to hire more black media members. There need to be more black people in media. And I counter that by saying, no, there need to be more black people in your position, because doing your job. Now, I've said this before. I don't think there necessarily needs to be a black sports station, or like the dude Rob Gronkowski. He has black sports online, and it's only that by name. You know what I mean? It's I think it takes some people back a bit, and they think it's like this whole, militant sports coverage. But nah, it's regular, and it has some there's some drip drops of pop culture within it as well, which is cool. But as far as having like black owned radio, sports radio, I think sports in and of itself doesn't really lend itself to that the way music does. You know what I mean? You have the urban music stations, your top 40 joints, your country. I don't think sports lends itself to that because it's especially when you're talking about opinions. I'm a person who I like a multitude of perspectives involved in conversation. And I know what you're probably saying, like this from the dude that is doing a show called One Mic and it's just him and his mic. Yeah, I understand the way that may seem, but I've done a lot of tandem radio. Speaking of tandem radio, my guy Mark Cooper's in the building. Good God, big man, missed you, man. Like Mark used to hang tight with the sports king, boy. What Rob tell you about me, man? Rob told you I was talking junk about you or something? You want to mess with your boy no more? Gee whiz. Shout out to you, though, boy. Mark Cooper's in the building. The Atlanta Falcoholics. It's been so long, Mark. I don't even remember your Twitter handle now. Hanging with Coop. Y'all follow Mark at HANGNWITCOOP. I think it is. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah, at Hanging with Coop on Twitter and Instagram and all that. Mark's a trip, too. He's a trip on Facebook and all those things as well. So, yeah. So, Kobe Bryant, I found it very compelling. The other thing that was awesome to me, the Golden State Warriors, they did a piece on the president of the Golden State Warriors, right? And right now, as we speak, I'm looking up his name because I don't remember it, and I didn't because I'm me. I didn't put it on my little note sheet here. But the fact that his name is Rick Welts. And he's been a part of the NBA for like decades, like a grip. And some very, very, like some crazy stuff, man. Like this dude, he was the guy who was in charge of the PR at the time where Magic Johnson had to tell everyone that he had HIV, right? And him being a gay man in that time, 90s, 80s, where, AIDS was like this, like, oh my God, AIDS. When we used to call it the AIDS, I think he got the AIDS. That, yeah. But at the time that he was like cultivating this PR thing for the league, the league that just came out of this 80s thing where everybody was seemingly on cocaine and the games were tape delayed and all this foolishness. He was the guy. He was one of the guys that helped the NBA get out of that dark age. He was the guy who had the vision of having the slam dunk contest like on that Saturday with like an old timers game and making it like a weekend, making it an event. And it's morphed into this thing we have now where these concerts and all this celebrity all-star games and all this kind of stuff. But at the time when he was going through stuff with Magic Johnson, his partner, I was going to say lover, his partner had actually been diagnosed with AIDS, which is kind of weird to me. I was like, hey, that's your partner, how he get it? But at the time, you got to understand, like things was like real loopy. Like Arthur Ashe caught AIDS from like or he contracted AIDS. It sounded like an old lady. He caught the AIDS. He contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion. So, there's a lot of stuff going on back then. If you guys, like, I was a kid, but I watched a lot of documentaries on this stuff because I'm always interested in things that happened, before I was old enough to really care about them. But at the time, like, he was kind of commissioned with taking care of his partner who inevitably, succumbed to the AIDS virus and died. And the part that really got me, I was in bed watching it with my old lady, man. It was like his loved one died, man. Someone that he loved died, and he couldn't tell anybody because of the nature of not only the business that he's in, the NBA, but the culture nationally as it pertains to those things. You remember, like at one point they were calling AIDS like gay cancer. As weird as that sounds today, that was something that was very acceptable back then. But anyway, he went, got up through the ranks. He worked with the Phoenix Suns. He now he's the president of president of basketball operations. He's the president actually of the Golden State Warriors. And I'm watching this thing, and what's funny to me, I don't know if you guys remember this, that before Mark Jackson was fired, there was this big thing about him really, really not wanting to work hand in hand with the front office. And if you know anything about Mark Jackson, like Mark Jackson's everybody's favorite, commentator. Mama, there goes that man, and hand down, man down, all the cool little catchphrases. But Mark Jackson is a Bible thumping weirdo. If you don't believe me, just go and Google, just Google Mark Jackson street preaching or whatever, and watch this dude. He's like one of those like crazy dudes that you try to ignore downtown. If you live here in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. There's always talking about the world gonna end, and you better give your life to Christ. The world gonna end. You're sinners and all this. Like, he's one of those dudes. I can't make it up. It's on Twitter. So you can imagine what the work relationship might have been. And like I said, I don't know this for a fact. I'm just kind of connecting some of the dots here. You can imagine the type of work relationship if someone is that deeply rooted in their religion. You know how you guys know, you folks that go to church every Sunday, you know how your Lord feels about the gays. You know what I mean? The Bible, it explicitly says that you should kill them. So there's that. So imagine that. Imagine, a dude like that having to not only work with, but he's a subordinate of this guy, Rick Welts. None of this was brought up in the conversation last night on Real Sports, but it's just me being me. Because everybody want to jump on this whole Stephen A. Smith and all these people. Mark Jackson deserve all this credit for what the Warriors are doing. Slow down, Sparky. Because if anyone knows anything, and anyone to tell you that plays any type of sports, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about myself. Like, you talk to enough of these athletes about the things that make a team a well-oiled machine. A lot of it is just continuity, and continuity not just in. It's like Steph is kind of he's kind of a Jesus freak too. A lot of those dudes are, So yeah, they like Mark Jackson. I think a lot of people like Mark Jackson, not Bob Ryan. Like, Bob Ryan is the reason that. He's the reason that I found the video, because he was on Dan Le Batard's show and he was calling Mark Jackson a phony. He's a phony Bible thumper, and he called him like all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, this is happening. And by the way, I never did talk about this. That dude got suspended for that. Like, he called Mark Jackson out and they suspended him for it. Weird. Like, that's what your workplace is, cuz you can't even go on the radio and give your opinion on a dude that, like, if Mark Jackson if he still worked for the Nuggets, or not the Nuggets, for the Warriors, he could do it. But because he works there too, yeah, I worked in that kind of environment where everybody was supposed to like each other. It sucks. It sucks, dude, because I don't consider that to be the real world. I think that's some fictitious, made up, everybody gets a trophy type BS. Nah, I don't have to like you to work with you. You know why? Because I'm an adult. I'm grown. I can go get my work done, get my check, and go back to the people who really do care for me, my family. But, they want you to believe that too. They want you to believe that, this your family until it's time to get your ass fired. Yeah, ain't nobody fam then. Yeah, so where am I at? I got a couple minutes left. I'm not gonna stop at 9:30 actually, or 8:30. By the way, because I got some more stuff I want to talk about. This stuff with Jose Reyes. I told you I had some baseball stuff for you, right? Jose Reyes has been suspended with pay while his this domestic violence case against him is pending, and this is one of those weird times where I don't know necessarily how I feel about it. We're in a point in a time in society, especially the sports leagues, where they feel pressure to do something. What that something is, no one knows. You know what I mean? Like, what? Ray Rice got suspended only 2 games? And the minute people started with that, I was like, okay, what's enough? It inevitably ended up being life. You know what I mean? Even though they tried to suspend him indefinitely, he went to court, sued the league, and it was he won the case. But inevitably, no, he was too toxic, 1, and 2, couldn't play anymore. And many people, like, the ability. What I was talking about when I was talking about Gronkowski is like, he balls. So a lot of the stuff that you don't associate with the quote unquote Patriots way, doesn't really apply to him. And especially since, like, the last guy that played this position with me on the team, he murdered a dude and shot another dude in the face. So in comparison, me going out on this drunken cruise with a bunch of, woo girls, not really, don't really match up. You know what I mean? So the standard, the bar got set so damn low that, whatever, he's taking advantage of it. I don't know that I'm necessarily mad at it, to be honest with you. But, this Jose Reyes thing, So Rob Manfred, the Major League Baseball commissioner, he has, again, unilateral power to do this. He's taking him off the football field, but I think they're contractually, because of their collective bargaining agreement, they have to pay him. So again, it's I have to do something. If I did have a problem with it, it would be kind of, I'm going to kind of restate something that I've always said, that we've gotten to the place where an accusation is a conviction. It's equal to, you get punished the same, well, I'm not going to say punished the same way because he's not in jail. But as far as the leagues are concerned, you get suspended, someone says you did something, that seems to now be enough. Your side of the story doesn't matter. And I know people are going to say, well, when it comes to like beating up on a woman, your side doesn't matter. Well, guess what? I'm not just talking about that. LaShawn McCoy is about to have to meet with a DA about something or the other because something popped off in the club over a bottle of champagne, allegedly. And right now, it's already been like the dude, the mayor, was it the mayor of Philadelphia? Was talking about what they gonna do to him. Like, wait a minute, there's a such thing as due process, isn't there? Or did I move to Afghanistan and didn't know it? But it doesn't matter anymore because now everything's tried on Twitter and everything's tried on every type of social media outlet there is, and for the most part, if something goes on and just sometimes normal human interaction is different. That's what I'm always talking about when I'm talking about guys who, the authors of the story is not being able to relate to the characters within the story. Like, when I was talking to Gerald Brown the other day about the Blake Griffin thing, I made sure I asked him about it because, like, if you understand how that go down sometimes. Like, if that's your man, sometimes the way you handle the situation is, somebody got to go upside somebody's mouth. It ain't ideal, but, sometimes it's the way to get your point across. It's like, to me, it's like cursing. Like, you can tell somebody to shut up, but when you, tell somebody to shut the F up, it just adds that little bit more of oomph to drive the point home that you better not say another damn word. You know what I mean? Like, certain things just, are emphasized. Now, and I do believe in the Blake Griffin situation that the bigger problem was that he busted his hand up. He just clocked that boy, and that was the end of it, and everybody could shake hands and be cool. I mean, and they ended up shaking hands, but Blake he's going to miss 4 games. It extended the time he was going to be out again. So, it was a lose for the team. Him just clocking that boy, it wasn't the biggest problem in the world. He lived. Ain't nobody had to go to no hospital, and nobody had to, ain't nobody mama had to buy no black dress. It was cool. It's One Mic with Big Mike. I got another half hour to go. I'm going to come back. Speaking of fighting, I got to talk about Dante Fowler Jr. And I know everyone's got their, I'm on this high hill looking down upon everyone, and my standards in life are so much higher than yours. Okay, maybe. But I'm going to talk about Dante Fowler Jr., as well as a couple of other things before I get up out of here tonight. This is One Mic with Big Mike. I'm being heard on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app. Don't forget, the chat room's wide open. My guy Mark Cooper's in the chat room hollering at me. You guys can join him. You guys can start a chat with him. We'll find out what he's up to, what the Falcoholics up to and all that. Oh, I got to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, too. Yes. Yeah, I got to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, too, before I get out of here. So make sure you guys are following me on Spreaker, on Twitter, on Instagram, at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE, and I shall return in just a few seconds.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Welcome back. This is the Hump Day edition of One Mic with Big Mike. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. For the first 92 minutes of the show, we got about, 28 left? At least 28 left. I'll see if I can push it all the way to 9 tonight. Oh, you know what happened? I thought about was like some extreme goonery. This thing with Apple and the government, man. How Apple is, the San Bernardino shootings. The dude had an iPhone. I guess he had a new iPhone, and they got the security feature on that joint. But the feds can't hack that joint, and iPhone, the Apple people, are reluctant to open it up for the feds to get the information off of. Now, I understand the whole national security side of the thing, but this is like a hella. This is probably the best advertising for the iPhone ever. You know what I'm saying? Especially you dudes, you know who I'm talking about, side chicks and all that, and you got your girl going through your phone. Cause if the feds can't crack it, your girl ain't got a chance. Like every dude, every goon, every dude ever is going to get them an iPhone now because they're like, well, damn, if the feds can't get into it, yeah, I got 2 phones. Ain't that what that boy said? One for the plug and one for the load. And they both iPhone. Oh, man. This is One Mic with Big Mike. like I said, we got a couple minutes left on this show. Don't forget to sign up for your free Spreaker accounts, like my guy Mark Cooper has, so he can actually follow my show on Spreaker. The number 1 MIC WITHBIGMIKE. Mark is also in the chat room. This is one of the benefits of following the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm here live at 7 p.m. You guys can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the same handle, One Mic with Big Mike, and Facebook. As far as the Facebook page goes, it's ONEMIC WITHBIGMIKE. Now, I mentioned before I went to break, I mentioned Dante Fowler. Is he Dante Fowler Jr., I think? Right, the second overall pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, caught a brick last summer, tearing his ACL in the preseason. So he didn't play last year. Big time pass rusher. But he's in news. He's in the news for other reasons. Coop says he's hashtag Janky promoter certified and hashtag Nigga certified. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Nigga situation, it goes a little something like
Niggas. Negus, niggas.
Yes. You know what? That's been dry, boy. I ain't pumped that out in a grip. So anyway, Dante Fowler Jr., outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever he is for the Jacksonville Jaguars, had a little issue with his baby mama and his old lady. They weren't getting along, and the way he decided to bring some closure to the situation is by essentially refereeing a fight between the two women. It's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what y'all think about me. I ain't do it. I can laugh at it. Whatever, man. I will, full disclosure, I wasn't one of these weirdos. Like, Coop, did you watch the whole video? See, there's like an extended version of the video, and like, where did I see it at? Did I see it online or did I see it on TMZ? I may have even seen it on TMZ online, like TMZ.com. But, they have like where you get like the essence of what happened. I don't need to see like if it was like 40 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, however long it was, the entire video. I don't need to see the entire video to understand what happened. Two broads got to fighting because they had a disagreement, and your man was in the middle of it, kind of like, I guess, making sure it didn't get out of hand, maybe? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, Like I told you before, man, a lot of these dudes from different backgrounds, and things get, like, he didn't, I heard people say, he didn't put his hands on nobody, and he didn't. You know what I mean? He didn't put his hands on nobody. He kind of facilitated it's like dropping crack in the hood in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, the white man didn't come in and do the drive-bys, but he facilitated an environment where drive-bys were deemed necessary. So they fought better than, he said they fought better. That's the kid's name, Dada 5000. The dude with heart who almost bust fighting Kimbo Slice. Yeah, I didn't see that fight either. Like, the Kimbo Slice thing was cool for a minute, Coop, but then I kind of just, got on the bus riding the other way. I was like, all right, I understand what it is. I saw him getting his ass whooped in a real UFC fight, not a street fight, and realized that there is a difference. So the people, the NFL, people like yesterday on Facebook, folks was like, well, shoot, Roger Goodell can't suspend him for watching. You must not even realize who Roger Goodell is and who he thinks he is. So, yeah, they're looking into this matter. Mike Babcock says, quote, "These are disturbing images, and we will review the matter." Yes, indeed. And of course, it's on tape, so you got to apologize. That's your first line of defense. He says, quote, "I'm embarrassed and have apologized for my actions for everyone involved." He says, "As a family, we have been dealing with this moment and the conflict that led to it since this occurred. The video surfacing is a sad reminder that emotions got the best of us all. I take 100% responsibility for everything that happened." Whoa, back up, player. I ain't taking 100%. Nah, it was 3 people there. I might take 33 and a third. Maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't make them bros fight. I wasn't the one like, hey, baddest man knocked this off my shoulder. You know what I mean? Nah, hell no. You may have facilitated an environment where the fight was able to happen. But here's what I'm going to say about that, too. In reality, you think it wasn't going to eventually go down anyway? Like, if those bras was that willing to fight then, like right there, yeah, it probably was going to happen anyway. That may be a part of the unfortunate nature of the situation that this dude, this high profile NFL player, found himself in the midst of it. But not found himself. He put himself in the midst of it. What am I saying? Yeah. See, and I just thought about what Coop put it. Yeah, they fought better than Kim. That means Coop saw the whole damn video. Yeah, I knew it. God, I knew it. What else do I have here before we get out of here tonight, man? Said the Falcons, right? So apparently, Roddy White. You know what? Before I get to Roddy White, let me make mention of something that just came up here on my Facebook. I posted this picture, Sierra and Russell Wilson date, and I get so much of like, what would you call this? Pop culture news, just kind of through the ether. I don't read about it a lot. I don't see about it a lot. But this kind of crosses over a little bit because, of course, Russell Wilson is a quarterback. He's an athlete. So, it comes through my little stream that I have with the sports stories. And I guess TMZ, Russell Wilson, Sierra, and the baby boy went to Dodger Stadium and hung out and had some fun. And on this TMZ article, it says Future is going to be pissed. So I posted it on my Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, the baby daddy's gotta kind of holler at me about this. Like, why he pissed? Why would he be so mad? And two people responded. My girl Renee Cooper, she responded. He said he's mad because he is a child in a man's body. You should want someone around your child who would treat them right. He should take a page from Babyface and Deion Sanders. I'm not gonna go that far. That's how grown men behave. The first part of her statement, I definitely agree with. You know what I mean? Like, kids, black kids in general need love, man. You know what I mean? They need love. And my guy Matt at Only One Mr. Green, I think he changed it to East Point Made Me now. He said, I don't think he's mad because someone else is around his kid. I think he feels these photo shoots are unnecessary and done intentionally to be disrespectful. You have to be a dad to understand. And I'm going to reply to him. I am one, and I don't. Yeah, I just don't, man. Future, like, this is the dude that I think he got like 7 kids by 7 different brides. Am I exaggerating that number? Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think he got like 7 kids. He got like a multitude of kids. Let's say it that way. He got a multitude of kids by a couple of different women, man. And I saw an article describing him as the hardest working man in hip hop. Well, I just thought about how that played. Yeah, maybe in two senses of the word. If she is with another dude now, right, and she happens to be the mother of his child, I don't. He's talking about these photo ops and all these things. Like, this kid is like 3 or something, hanging out at Dodger Stadium by himself, just running the base paths. Like, yeah, maybe those things can be documented. Like, and here's the thing: there's nothing felonious going on. You know what I mean? Like, they're not at inappropriate places with the kid. They're just hanging out at like the zoo, and he's at football practice with Russell Wilson and Sierra. It's like, I don't know, man. If you can't. And you're unable to because of whatever, if it's financial, if you locked up, if you're a world-renowned rapper and you're on the go all the time, if you can't, somebody else can. I don't think that should be necessarily your enemy. You know what I mean? I don't think it should necessarily make you mad, because if you're gonna be that mad about it, stay with her. Stay with her. Y'all was engaged, boo her up or whatever, marry her and all these things. That would be, my little slice of advice. I don't know how much it resonates in any way, shape, or form, but whatever. To the Atlanta Falcons, before we get out of here today. Not necessarily Falcons in as a whole. You know, Paul Soliai he's being rumored to be the next, you know, one on the chopping block, you know, as Dan Quinn attempts to retool this Falcons defense and get it to a point where it at least, you know, matches the effectiveness of the offense, or at least in talent, you know, talent-wise. And speaking of that offense, I told you, like, Roddy White, he made a lot of proclamations that, you know, he's a Falcon for life and, you know, all that he plans on being with the Falcons. I was like, I bet you do. But the reality of the situation is I think Roddy White, he's been a Falcon maybe 2 years longer than he should have been to this point. Right? And, you know, people were talking about the way he was used last year. Like, Roddy already wasn't the most explosive of athletes. And with age and with the lower leg injuries that he's experienced here in the last couple of years, that's going to take its toll. And it's going to make him more unlikely to continuously separate and things of that nature. And the fact that there's no one on the roster right now that you consider better, I don't know what that necessarily means, because what you're looking at is Julio and a bunch of average dudes, including Roddy White. I understand the whole, you know, he's a Falcon staple, but if you're an adult and at this point you still don't understand the business that is professional sports, holler at me sometime. I'll give you a crash course. You know what I mean? Like, dudes need to move on. Like, the thing is, you don't get a chance to have both. You know, have your favorite players around forever and still have a team that's going to compete and be amongst the league's elite, right? What your necessarily your goal is to make sure you have that guy at quarterback. Have him, and then let everything else be the inconsistent part of the team. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Russell Wilson's out there throwing a freaking Doug Baldwin. And, you know, Tom Brady's got, you know, Danny Amendola. You feel me? But they got constants. And then you may luck up. Matt Ryan's got Julio Jones. Ben Roethlisberger's got Antonio Brown. Peyton Manning got Bebe and them boys. You know, up until this year, Aaron Rodgers had Jordy Nelson. You know, you luck up sometimes, you get a tandem going on there. But when it's time to go, man. And you gotta start looking towards your front office to restock those shelves. And I think that's been more so of the problem with the Atlanta Falcons as an organization. You know, I was someone who came out very, very early, like super early, the day after, as a matter of fact, the Saturday after the Friday that the trade was made to acquire Julio Jones. Yeah, that next day I was on the air like, nope, never a day in life is that ever a thing where I'm going to give you 5 picks for no damn wide receiver. No. Now, you people will say, well, look at what happened to the Redskins. So what? Look what happened to the Redskins. The fact of the matter is this. If you feel like, if you trust your scouting department and you trust the evaluation and you think that dude is your dude and Robert Griffin III, do it. Do it. Because let's say they did the same thing and moved it to number 1 and got Andrew Luck. No one would be complaining. No one would be complaining to anyone. If they traded a bunch of picks and got Andrew Luck, who cares? But to a dependent position, a wide receiver, it's not enough impact on the football game. There just isn't, man. It just isn't enough impact on the football game for me to trade 5 players. Not picks. Players. Because then what you're doing for the next few years, you're playing catch-up. And not only are you playing catch-up, you're putting yourself in a position where you can't miss. And the Falcons, oh my God, can't miss. I mean, they've missed. Excuse me. I was reading Mark's his submission in the chat room. He said if they cut Roddy, we'll see him twice in Carolina or Tampa Bay. Sure, go for it. You know what I mean? Because you send him to Carolina, he still got to beat out Devin Funchess. He still got to beat out Kelvin Benjamin, who will be back this year. You send him down to Tampa Bay, he's got to beat out Mike Evans, or he's got to beat out Vincent Jackson. Yeah, start ranking those dudes. That's 5 dudes, right? 2 on each team and Roddy. Start ranking them, and then stop when you get to Roddy White. You'll probably get to number 5. This is the real deal. I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's a young man's game, man. I don't think Roddy's career is necessarily over. I remember talking to him one time. We had him on the show on the Sports Kings, and I asked him, I was like, are you going to be one of those guys just play until the wheels fall off? Is that going to be you? Until they just stop calling? He was like, nah. And this, you know what? It was funny. I think what he said too, this might have been about 4 years ago, and I think he may have said he had like 3 years left, or no, not 3. He said like 5 years left in him. I think so. Like 3 years ago. I had to ask Rob about that, my former co-host Rob Calloway. But I just thought about that. That's kind of ironic. He said, nah, you ain't gonna have to drag him off the field. He's gonna know when to walk away. So we'll see how this thing plays off, man. In Tampa, he'll be the slot. What's that kid's name? They got a kid that plays a slot down there. The kid with the funny name in Tampa Bay. What the hell is his name? Sefarius Jenkins? Austin Sefarius Jenkins? Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's going, I thought, to be honest with you, when Steve Smith left Carolina, I thought that was the time to get some picks or a pick for Roddy White and send his ass to Carolina. Yeah, that's something else I said back in the day. And maybe it's just different for me because I don't really have an emotional affinity towards the team here. I like the team. Austin Sefarius Jenkins is a tight end. I was thinking that in my mind. I don't really have an emotional, thanks, Coop, by the way. I don't really have an emotional affinity towards the team. So, a player can come, remember that whole, we want Tony G back. Yeah, what happened? I don't give a damn about that. Bring somebody in here that's going to ball. Tony G leaves, guess what? More balls for number 11. The best player on the field consistently, almost every Sunday, is that guy. Why not give him more footballs? You know what I mean? Like the Harry Douglas situation, you live and you learn with that one. Harry had a couple of knees, that maybe you didn't want to pay for your third wide receiver. I don't know what the hell. I don't even know why the hell Devin Hester was here last year. Him or Eric Weems. Who the hell need a kick returner? Everybody kick out the back of the end zone. What you need a kick returner for? And Devin Hester, let's keep it real. He only played half the season, first of all, if it was even half. And he's only Devin Hester in name at this point. He's like Dwight Howard. We was talking about Dwight coming home to Atlanta. For what? Dwight Howard is an average dude. He's a jag. He's just another guy. He's Dwight Howard in name only. I like trade no picks or no viable bodies for Dwight Howard. Yeah, you stay out there with James Harden and suck it up. Speaking of James Harden, see, y'all ain't believe it. I told y'all the KKK was real, and I'm not talking about the Klan. Yeah, the Kardashian coochie curse is real. Yeah, this broad, Courtney, not Courtney. What was her name? Khloe Kardashian, right? Got on TV today and just ripped my dude. Made him look like a sucker, like he cheated on me. And even when I told him, let's just kind of play this thing casual, he begged me to be with me exclusively, and then he cheated. But hold on, you the same broad. First of all, you was dating me and you was married. The dude you was married to went to a whole house, OD'd on coke and penis juice or whatever it was, stuff to make your virility spike, and almost died. And then you expected me to just be just hold it down while you took care of this dude and told everybody. You ripped up the divorce papers. Yeah, I don't even think, here's the thing. They ain't even called cheating. Basically, my man just moved on before you did, before you knew he did. He just ain't tell you. Yeah, but see, look what's happening to the Rockets. Kevin McHale gone. The team is trash. They got a good squad too. I know I said Dwight Howard is just a guy, but he's just a guy that should be able to just rebound, run the floor, catch some lobs, protect the rim. That's pretty easy. I know he want to be an offensive option, but he's not. No. Never has been, And now once you're to the point now where your athleticism ain't, you got all the same lower leg injuries and your athleticism ain't where it was. Yeah, that's exactly what you are. You're essentially a downgrade and a shorter, smaller DeAndre Jordan. And just as bad a free throw shooter. How did I get on James Harden? Oh, I was talking about Roddy White. Yeah, I was talking about, like dudes becoming, just guys, man. Roddy White, we got to stop putting these athletes, as fans of sports, stop putting these guys in these bubbles, man, and trying to preserve them and believe that they're going to always be these guys. You know what I mean? Like people, I believe RG3 can still do it. I believe Colin Kaepernick can bounce back. Not me, until I see it. You know what I mean? Don't nothing tell me that. Like, these dudes aren't any younger. They're not any healthy. They're not any more healthy than they were when they were ripping up the league. And the league is caught up to a lot of that stuff. That read option and all that. Yeah, the league is caught up to it. So when I used to have a coach that told me, I used to take this stuff so literally too. So literal. He's like, you never stay the same. You only get better. I don't know what just happened. Yeah, he said you only get better or worse. Because the other man is always working. Yeah. What the hell just happened, man? My mic went out for a second. All right. Yeah, because the other guy, the guy that you're competing against, while he's working and you're not, like just by, degrees of relativity, you're falling behind. I don't know. You know what? I hope the Atlanta Falcons fans are looking closely or watching this combine closely. At a couple, I've given you guys some names. I'll give them to you again. Guys like Andrew Billings from Baylor, Shaq Lawson, the defensive end from Clemson, another defensive end from Clemson. Leonard Floyd, we know him from UGA. James Allen, defensive end from Bama. Shalik Calhoun, DeForest Buckner. These are some names you guys should probably be checking out, man, in the draft. As well as I saw somebody else today. My guy Alec Kaftoff from the NFL Draft Blitz. Is it NFL Draft Blitz? I think it's NFL Draft Blitz. Yeah, he had him taking the inside linebacker. Like, what happened to the mic? I don't know, dude. My damn equipment guy sucks, which of course happens to be me. Yeah, I suck. But no. What's this kid's name? This kid's name from also be looking at Miles Jack. If Miles Jack lasts to number 17, do everything linebacker, someone who should fit in quite nicely. You got to pay attention to his medical though. He had the meniscus thing, the meniscus tear at UCLA, and he was like, "All right, Coach Moore, I'm out. I'm about to go start getting ready for the NFL." I'm excited to see what he looks like. If he went and took advantage of the extra time he had over everyone else and just came back like totally ripped and shredded and running like 4 flats and the whole rigmarole. I love the combine, man. I'm a big combine geek. So all you combine detractors, like, I don't know, it's just the underwear Olympics. Well, guess what? Have fun watching First Take. That's who I believe you are. You're those people that love First Take, that foolery and garbage. Coop says, looking at Dak Prescott. You know what? I'm interested to see what Dak Prescott measures at. The guy, Jared Goff, because they're talking about hands. People don't think that matters, like hand size. You remember Dante Culpepper? Dante Culpepper was a monster until he tore up his knee. But the problem with him is he dropped the ball a lot. He had small hands. Russell Wilson's got like baseball mitts. He's a small dude with like 10-point-something inch hands. That's why he can rip that football so good, and he throws that tight spiral like that. So certain things in the NFL Combine, they do matter. It's not just a matter of just brushing stuff to the side. The medical stuff, the interview stuff, now they're doing this cognitive stuff and this psychological stuff with the guys. Yeah, there's some good to have. And then, too, most of us will never know what it is to run 40 yards in 4.4 seconds. Why not enjoy other people doing it? I mean, young, virile athletes doing it, and just dream about that one day. I think Dak Prescott, Mark thinks Dak Prescott is an interesting pick. Yeah, golly. Something's going on with the mic. I'm not even on. There I go. I'm back. Sorry, Coop. Sorry, you guys. I'm going to get out of here for the night. My mic situation is... Something's going on with my equipment. It's One Mic with Big Mike. You guys check me out again on Friday. Also, for you guys who didn't get the chance to hear the whole show, if you want to share the show with anyone else, make sure they check it out on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app. Search for my show, the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. Also use that handle for Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.com/ONEMIC, Also, don't forget about our Woman Crush Wednesday, Noella Diaz, at NOELLADIAZ. We'll get out of here and go watch some TV, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you guys on Friday. Hopefully the microphone issues will be resolved by then. Have a good one.